Morning.
Good morning. All
Good
right,
morning.
hold on. Well, good morning to all. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Mary and Lionel. I hope everyone has had a safe weekend. We've had some ash, and I don't know. It's a bit difficult to really understand what's happening on the outside, but we want to introduce one of our guests this morning. Liesel Daisley has joined us this morning, and we're very happy to have you, excuse me, with us.
Good morning.
As as we usually say, we like
I'm
to
happy to be here. Thank you.
thank you. We like to keep it warm and cozy. Now, Lionel, we do have another guest. We're expecting this morning. Are you hearing us? No, Lionel always has a little hiccup on his end. Well, there he goes again. We had this problem last week, and we went through this with our techies to see if we can get it. So it looks as if I'm just going to have Lizelle with me this morning for a little while. Um, what we usually talk about is what's happening on the island, what's happening around in the region, what's happening internationally, and we touch on certain things that affect most persons. Right now, what is affecting us is the ash. And we want to also send our prayers to our brothers and sisters in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Lisa, do you have any friends or family residing in St. Vincent or the Grenadines? Do you know anyone that's there in St.
With them
Vincent?
for a long time. Well, they're
Mm-hmm.
more like acquaintances. So I'm not in touch with anybody in St. Vincent at the moment. No.
Okay, okay. Well, I had some work colleagues who I know um, who reside there. I've been to St. Vincent, and I it's a lot of vegetation, so I don't think it is as populated as Barbados.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people who go into that area might have migrated from the city area into the northern part of St. Vincent. Because that's what's happening is in the northern part, and where most of the people live is in the south. Just like how we have North Barbados, South, and I'm thinking that a lot of those people had to come from that area down. But from what the prime minister said yesterday, although we would have had the ships and stuff, the cruise lines going out to assist with transporting them away from the island and stuff, most of them remained in St. Vincent with family and friends, which I think is very commendable. A lot of persons were concerned that they were coming to Barbados and where they're going to put them, where they're vaccinated and stuff like that. Um, I think one of the concerns was the vaccinated part. Yeah. Um, what we would have to look at is how we tend to treat our fellow man. How do you look at that?
Definitely. Well, if Barbados was the one that experienced the volcano or some natural disaster, we would want to bring islands to us. I wouldn't want to know that we have islands that are close to us in the Caribbean that are our brothers and sisters.
Hmm.
They turn their back on us when we need them most. That's how I feel about it. We sing songs about being one Caribbean and one people.
Hmm.
when proven,
Yeah.
sometimes I wonder where all that singing and if people need help and shelter and we have the ability to help them, we should do so.
Yes, 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 yes. I think when, like, there's a song that resonates with me. Um, we got this. I love that song. I think it was written by the Water Street Boys, Shane Jones and I Webb. And kids, when we were young, we used to sing all the songs. We used to be in the classroom singing and stuff like that. So when we really think of songs that makes you think, the words in the song that tell us about being together, we'll be there for each other. But yeah, I think when when you spoke about it, it reminded me a lot of Carrie Cobb. Funny enough, um, you know, we shouldn't have this tit for tat attitude where, for
Yes.
example, the prime minister might have been in negotiation with the Indian government for the vaccine, but when they sent the vaccine, she decided to share it with some. Well, I'm not sure if some other islands was able to get vaccines, but she shared it with others. And a lot of people were saying, but why is she sharing it with them? I found it quite weird that they would say something like that. You have to be helpful to your other brothers. Not everybody was able to get, but eventually, when you follow the news across the Caribbean, a lot of them had already. The Bahamas had their set, somebody else had their set, and we were further south. So, why not share a little bit with everybody? It
Yeah.
might be our turn. We may need to have it as well, you know. Um, the other thing that came up for us here,
Yes.
how
I'm
has
entering.
the yes, I see. I'm gonna add you in there so that we're all together.
Good.
You can
Because
hear
I
me?
think I can hear you better on this one.
Okay, beautiful.
You were sticking a lot on the other device.
Okay,
It's just a
let me
matter of
remove
turning
that.
turning off the other one.
Yeah, cause it's
Yes,
gonna give it us a little echo. Yes.
yes. I'm trying to
I,
turn it off.
okay, no problem.
Sorry.
That's
Okay, there we
okay.
go.
That's okay. We all have these little hiccups now and again. Now we have a
Yes,
hiccup
I
that
can hear
I'm
you so
gonna
much better.
yeah, I'm gonna introduce our other host, Lionel. Hopefully he's hearing me this morning. Morning, Lionel. How are you?
Oh, I can see him now. Yes. Good morning.
Can you
Is he
hear
hearing
us?
us?
Now he's in St. Thomas. He's
Hi,
always
good
getting
Oh,
little hiccup.
good morning. I can hear you loud and it's
missing
Okay.
a
okay.
bit.
Now, Lionel, how was your morning thus far? We were talking about what's happening with St. Vincent. How was your morning so far with the ash that we're getting? I think.
Good morning.
uh, Are you hearing us?
Oh, other than rain, some right. It's not heavy at all this morning. We had some heavy showers here, which basically washed the car for me. Some of the ash
Mm-hmm.
that's in the road. Yes, I hear you very loud and clear. My morning has been pretty good. I'm thinking we need it.
Okay. Um, we having a real bad morning. I don't know if the ash got into the systems this morning because um, you can hear Liesel. You said morning to Liesel.
Hi there. Good morning.
I
Maybe
know.
not.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
Lionel
there's
is
a
having
delay
for
or
him.
he's
Yeah,
frozen.
Are you
yeah,
hearing
yeah, yeah.
me?
We are, but you're not hearing
Are you hearing
us.
me?
You're not hearing us.
Yeah, the delay seems to be quite long.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, I think for Lionel, he would, as we would say, try to get his system working. We did our own little, as we would say, test run on it, and we got it hooked up, so to speak, from when was it? Over the weekend up to last night. We were
Good
looking at
morning,
it.
Liesel.
What a
Good
delay!
morning,
What a
Lionel.
delay!
What a delay. I told you good morning like 10 minutes ago. There was a really
He
bad
is,
delay. Sorry about that.
yeah, he is. He
Yeah, I
is.
am hearing you.
You're hearing
I
us?
am hearing
Okay.
you.
But
Okay.
when?
I am hearing.
Okay. Now, a suggestion was made here. Let me see. One of our followers is saying he is sticking a lot. And of course, that's a bit of a little hiccup for Lionel this morning. Well, I'm enjoying this so far. I'm really enjoying this. We were talking about how the volcano erupted and how it has affected us here in Barbados, which is the ash. Unfortunately, last night we had
Wow.
someone who passed away,
Testing,
um,
testing, one, two, three. Testing,
who has
testing, one, two.
actually, well,
Loud
I
and
think what they were doing, I think what they were trying to do was clean their surroundings from the ash, and they apparently slipped and fell. And the Prime Minister and the Dr. Johnson from the UWI Seismic Center was advising folks, you know, when it's light or whatever, be very careful when you go outside to do your cleaning and stuff like that. And I think that gave me a blow because I saw people out by me washing down, and I didn't see anybody on no roofs. I think that the nation news stated last night that he fell off his roof, and in fact, he did not fall off his roof. He collapsed on the side of his house. So I think we have to remember to be cautious. Remember that, well, it is something new for a lot of us. The older folks would remember. I wasn't here in '79 when they erupted around that time. Um, did you hear anyone, Lizelle, giving any insight into what happened in '79 in comparison to this year? I've heard people say it's quite different. The experience is very different.
Well, we would have been very young at the time, but yesterday during the press conference, the Prime Minister, she touched on it briefly.
Hmm.
Um, but, I don't even remember that. Yes, I was around, but I don't even have any recollection
I think
of
you
it.
might have been five or
Perhaps
five.
four or something. Um,
Yes.
so, but she did touch on it briefly in terms of, what would have happened then. But then she was looking at it more from the standpoint of technology now and that we can actually tell when these things are going to happen before they happen. And,
Ye-
you know, doctors are more equipped in terms of how to give you advice, and hospitals and so on are more equipped with equipment for respiratory issues and so on. And there's medicines now and all types of things now that they didn't have then. So we are at an advantage because we can tell when these things are going to happen before they happen most of the time. Because at the end
Yeah,
of the day, Mother Nature, we don't have any control over what she does.
that's so true. That is so true. And we have to go with the
Yeah.
flow. I heard Mr. James Paul from the Barbados Agriculture Society mentioned that because people are concerned about their crops too, huh? But
Yes.
I've heard those farmers say that even though it is detrimental to some of their crops, there are some advantages of the ash. Obviously, it's sulfur based, where it
Right.
will add some kind of
Fertilize.
nutrient, yeah, nutrients to this stuff. So I hope my garden with my tomatoes and beans and parsley
Once
will
it's
do
not too
good.
much, because obviously too much of something can be bad. So
Yeah,
everything like in moderation, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And then you
definitely,
have to be
definitely.
concerned about the farm animals inhaling the ash and so on. Because yes, you may be able to bring your puppy indoors, but you're not going to be able to bring all of your sheep and your pigs and your cows indoors.
No, correct,
No, so
correct,
they would be at a disadvantage. Yeah.
correct, correct. So I think for today, although the country is it's not on a shutdown, it was advised that we stay indoors, stay home, limit our movement, stay off the road because the ash can cause some kind of slippage and stuff like that, as well as the fact that some businesses or the majority of the businesses, management and those persons, technical stuff like that, will be on the road and they're going to
Yeah.
be assessing their offices and stuff like that. Are you working from home, Lizelle?
I am not working today. I'm off.
Oh, oh, lovely.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Well, I'm
Yes.
I'm always here, so that's okay. Like Lionel and I are always here. Right, Lionel? Wave your hand if
Okay.
you heard us. I don't know if he's hearing us this morning. Are you hearing us?
He's frozen again.
Okay. And okay. Now I have another young lady who is gonna join us in about a minute. Jewel Jones, all the way from Montreal, Canada. So let's see
Mm.
if we can get her in. Good morning, Jewel. How are you? Can you hear me?
No?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
we can hear you.
Okay,
Definitely.
great. Great. We're
Good.
in business then. How are you?
Yes. Good morning. We're beautiful. Oh my goodness. How
Oh,
are
thank you.
you?
Thank you. Thank you.
I've got two beautiful ladies joining me this morning. I'm so excited and I just can't hide it.
Oh my goodness. I guess you received my check for saying that I'm beautiful, eh?
Oh, I think I did. I think I did. Welcome, Jewel Jones, all the way from Montreal, Canada.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Barbados
Welcome.
and the world at large. How are you
And
guys
we,
doing down there?
well, we're not going too bad. We're
Hmm.
all indoors. We're following protocol. We're listening to our prime minister and all the officials that
Great.
are talking about this. So
Great.
we're indoors. We did have
Fantastic.
we
Hmm.
did have one death
Okay.
uh, last night. The news that was broadcast was incorrect. They said he fell off his roof. A
Hmm.
69-year-old from Poole St. John.
Okay.
Um, he actually collapsed. I think they said somewhere around his home. He was cleaning the area and collapsed.
Okay. I also saw a young girl too. A young girl, a
A
Lord or
41 year
something.
old, a 41
Exactly.
year old who
Yeah.
had an asthma attack,
Oh
who
dear.
was leaving QEH on Saturday. And we
Hmm.
want to extend condolences to both families. because
Sure,
that
sure.
that news is not good news for the weekend at all.
Yeah.
She just had a baby. I think she had a C-section and she was in the
Sad.
hospital. And
Yeah.
when she got home, she passed away.
Yeah.
So these things are not good things to hear at this
No,
time at all.
absolutely not.
And
Yeah.
we've heard overseas
Hmm.
with the crisis, it's doubling up.
Okay.
What's it like for you in Montreal? Because here in Barbados, we were now starting to really open back up.
Hmm.
We do one step, two step, three step kind of thing we were having here in Barbados.
Okay.
But tell us a little bit of what's happening for you in Montreal, Canada.
Well, I'm indoors too, and we're on a partial lockdown also because I guess we were trying to fight the COVID-19, but then with the many variants that are passing through, that causes a problem. And they had to close down some bars and restaurants, and I think the world would think that the world is working on a daily basis because you never know what's going to happen from one day to the other. So it's a sort of a guessing game, or my lord, what's going to happen tomorrow or in the next 10 minutes. So it's extremely hard on leaders to be dealing with a pandemic, and then in Barbados to be dealing with a pandemic and the volcano ash. And I want to send all my love to St. Vincent and their people and all my friends here in Montreal that have family down there. I pray that everything goes well or is going well for them. And that's the best the leaders can do is prayer and
Yeah,
and take one day at a time, because we
yeah,
can't rush it because we don't know really what is coming the next time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And right now
Mhm.
we've got, well, for us in Barbados, we have
Mhm.
our own defense force that are presently in St. Vincent that are
Okay.
there with their supplies,
Okay.
and I guess
Mhm.
they're helping wherever they can. Here in
Okay.
Barbados, we already
Mhm.
have charitable organizations already
Okay.
planning
Mhm.
to do collections of donations and stuff like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think one of them that came out thus far was the Pink Box. That's
Okay.
a young entrepreneurial organization of females, if I recollect.
Mhm.
Liesel may remember, I think, I know one of the individuals who is part of it.
Okay.
And I think they're now trying to collect mainly a lot of sanitary things for
Mhm.
females
Mhm.
and mothers and that kind of stuff, which is
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
I know of the Lions Club and the Kiwanis Club, all of them are now trying to put things in place within their
Mhm.
clubs to try now to collect things to donate. I'm not sure how they're going to get it there because the airports are closed.
Oh dear, that's another story.
That's another thing. Barbados
Yeah.
was now on the realm of trying to pick back up their tourism
Mhm.
from the 8th of May,
Oh my
trying to
goodness.
let flights and stuff come in. But now
Yeah.
we're
Now.
being told that this ash may
Oh,
be around for a little bit longer,
that's right. That's right. I
and that will
was saying
affect
that,
aviation.
yeah. I read where they said the volcano would probably be around, will be erupting for another 3 weeks going on. So that's going to be very, very hard on the economy everywhere, because it's going to be difficult. Here in Montreal too, we started to set up something with the church, where people can drop things off until next Saturday and Sunday.
Hmm.
So they're asking for everything. I mean, because they're going to need everything. Whatever you can find, you just have to put in there. But we're trying to ask people not to put old clothes and old shoes and things that you want to get rid of. These people, they're people, and just like you, they need to be treated well, and they
Yes,
don't need to be thrown scraps at. Just give nice things, or if you can give clothes, give canned goods or something, because they're gonna need everything: medical supplies, masks, sanitizers, stuff like that, because they're gonna need it.
yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes.
so it's very heartbreaking. It really is, because I have friends here in Montreal that are from St. Vincent, and it's not easy.
No,
When you
no.
You realize what your family is going through, and you're watching it live. It's very sad,
Exceptionally so.
Yeah.
Now,
Very much so.
I don't want to keep it on a sad note.
No. As a matter of fact, I wanted to open with my since we're in Barbados, I wanted to open with my enamel cup. So that should break the monotony right there. I'm getting back to basics
Nice.
here. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Very much so. Haven't seen one of them in decades.
There you go.
Well, no, I have a glass cup.
Oh,
My
you do?
grandmother. Show that again, Joel. Show that again.
There you go. Look. My enamel cup. Look.
That's right. We're
Yeah,
keeping it real here. We're
Keeping it real. Keeping it real. No teacup this morning. You see the real McCoy, right? Let's take a sip.
I don't think that I've ever drank from an enamel cup.
No,
I don't think
You
I ever
didn't?
drank from an enamel cup. No.
Liesel, no. I coming by you, honey
Never.
child. I'm gonna bring two. One for you, one for me to sit down and
Yeah,
drink hot tea from. Listen, and I used to do so with the thing,
You hear what I'm telling you? Yeah,
You
and,
used to
and,
do
and,
like
and
that.
in the cup you can have, they call it coffee tea, regular tea, cocoa tea, lime tea, ginger tea. Everything
Never
was
had
tea.
one.
Coffee was also tea.
Everything, and you're doing so. Look,
Doesn't the handle get hot too?
Oh,
Does
you
the handle
mean?
get hot too from the tea?
girl, I can't remember. All I know, I used to drink out the thing, and then she has a big one. I had a little one. They had the little ones for kids too, and you used to be
Okay.
doing like this. Like,
Oh,
Gran used to do this. My granny, whoop, whoop.
And they take two cups and pour one into the other to cool the cup. See, we
Yeah.
didn't have no fancy microwave and all that,
Yeah.
so we did what we had to do. You know what I mean, to survive.
But when they did it like that, that was to cool the tea.
That's
When
right.
they,
That's
when
right.
they
yeah,
poured it
yeah.
cup
Cool
to
it
cup. That
nice
was
and
to
cool.
cool the
Yeah.
tea. That was to cool
Yeah.
the tea.
I use a block of ice.
When they didn't make it ice back then. Ice back then,
Hey,
Lisa.
boy, ice, big block of ice from the
Clearly.
van.
They had to cool it like that. They had no ice. So listen, ladies. We are a very independent country. We're very independent women.
Okay.
And there's a talk that was been going around now for a couple of years about becoming republic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm touching a bit, not on politics, but on the late Prince Philip.
Okay.
I don't know if Lisa remember. I can't remember if she was in it, but I was in Duke of Edinburgh when I was at school,
Okay.
and
I was
I-
too, yeah.
you were with, yeah, because we had to camp and we had to do swimming and a whole set of things.
I did
in
the
Duke of-
swimming part. I didn't really do the camping part.
Me neither.
But I did the swimming for sure.
Yeah. So my granny didn't let
I
me
was
do the
not about to
camping.
do camping.
Mhm.
No, my granny
Yeah.
didn't let me do the camping. I was
Okay.
able to do a skill, which was Liberianship. I was able to do the swimming.
Mhm.
And there were 4 things you had to do. I can't remember what the other 2 things were. But for sure,
I can't
oh,
remember.
the hiking. You had to do like hiking and
Yes, I
hiking.
remember the hike.
Yeah.
Very
And-
bushy.
but when I
The things they
sit
made
and
us do.
you imagine, and just so the public knows, Liesel and I go way back. We're talking about
Yes.
way back, so that I can enlighten a bit for Liesel.
Mm-hmm.
Joelle Jones is just not a special guest this morning.
Mhm.
Do you remember a young lady by the name of Chantal Ward?
Oh yes, that's my
Yeah.
daughter. Yeah.
That's
Really?
Joelle's daughter. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
nice.
up to last night I was talking about the situation with you and Chantel and how I got to meet you because you and Chantel went to Springer Memorial
Yeah.
together. Yes, and
Yes.
and I
Aw,
think
nice.
I don't know if you went to Mrs. Carrington Preparatory Private School, but Chantel and Patrice went there first, and then they went on to Springer Memorial.
Yes.
So that's how
I
you
went
and
to what
Chantel
was
met.
called I went to what we call Erston at the time. They changed the name from
Mhm.
Erdiston.
Erdiston?
Erdiston Primary School.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes. But
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know
it's
that
now
school is
called.
closed.
The
Yeah, they
Spring
renamed
Memorial.
it and they moved it.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
Mm.
But the
Okay.
Carrington Prep, what's it? Carrington Preparatory?
Carrington, Mrs. Carrington Preparatory School.
Oh, that's
Um,
closed. That's
yes,
closed.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Do
And
you have
that's
a
she's
right.
still,
picture
I
of
saw
Chantal
her.
that you can show us?
Oh dear.
Present day? I don't
A
know.
present day, a present day. My girl have so many present day pictures that you might see her in gray hair, blue hair, yellow
Oh
hair.
Lord,
Um,
oh Lord.
uh, the
I
Let me
might
worst.
not
see.
recognize her then.
I can
I
help you. I've got one.
Okay. No, her
I've
face
got
hasn't
one.
changed, just the different cuts and
And
so
colors.
and colors. Yes, yes, yes. Oh dear, the colors,
Wow.
the colors. Yeah, the
I can
colors.
help you. Let's see. Um, can you
Um,
can you see the shared page?
the shared
Yes.
page.
All
Um,
right. Let's
I don't,
see.
I don't want to touch this thing too much because
No, 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 no,
I'm
no.
so used to Zoom that this
No,
is a little bit different for
that's
me.
all right. That's all right,
Mhm.
Joel. I'm gonna do it from my end.
Okay, great,
I'm
great.
doing it from my end.
Okay.
Let's see. I hope you can see it because I've actually
I can.
put myself. You can?
I
Yeah, I can
haven't.
see your shape.
No. You seeing it? I'm not
Okay.
seeing it. So I'm not
Hold
even
on.
seeing you. I'm trying to get to see if I can see you, but I can't see you either.
You're not seeing me?
No, I'm not seeing you. I'm hearing you and you're hearing me and you're seeing me, but I can't see you. So
Oh,
you
I'm
gotta get
seeing
you.
everybody.
Oh, oh well, I don't know
But you
what's
can always
happening.
send me pictures another time.
Uh,
Yeah.
mhm.
But I do see her there on the
So what,
screen.
what colors are here now?
Blonde.
It was blonde.
Didn't I tell you? Okay then. I think the last time I saw her, I think she was what, in blue or something? Like every time she walks through the door, I always say, introduce yourself because I'm not sure who you are today. So,
Wow.
Yeah, she's had it blue. She's had the
she's had it
Great
blonde. She's had it, oh my
blonde.
God, have mercy.
and she
Yeah,
sings. She
yeah.
sings as well.
I
So
think she has a little bit of crazy mommy in her, and I can't blame her for that. You know.
Nice, nice.
well since we got distracted with that little one, I'll get back on
Okay.
That
point.
always helps.
Hmm. That always helps get some promotion going there, you know.
Um as I said, we were
Hmm.
in the Duke of Edinburgh, and I want to remember Prince
Hmm.
Philip because
Yes,
you know
definitely.
right now we're going through a period of what they're calling it is very real, and we can't hide from it,
Yes,
and that's racism. A lot of
definitely.
talking
Yeah.
has come up based on what's happened in the royal family.
Hmm.
I don't live
Hmm.
there. I don't know what's happening. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that what is being said didn't happen or did happen,
Okay.
but that is something. It's not in our family. If you
Hmm.
if you understand what I'm saying, folks,
Hmm.
what I'm trying to say is, I'm a liberal and I try to look at all three sides of a story.
Thank you. You're
And for me,
mhm.
I have experienced what Megan has experienced. I'm not
Okay.
saying that it's not there. It is still
Hmm.
there. It's not something that
Yes.
we will get rid of in a hurry.
Yes.
Wherever you go, whatever part of the world you go, it
Hmm.
will be experienced, even if it
Exactly.
is in color, even if
Hmm.
it is in sexuality, whatever
That's
it
right.
is, it
That's
is
right.
still going to be all over the world,
Hmm.
regardless of what we think of.
Yeah.
However, one thing that we cannot get away from is that Sir, not Sir, Prince Philip was human, as we are,
Of course.
and
Yeah.
I don't know if he did bad.
Mm-hmm.
I've only known and heard and read that he was a witty guy, very
Mm-hmm.
funny,
Mm-hmm.
and when he passed away, they talked about him being two steps behind the Queen.
Yes,
I guess that's protocol.
it
And at
is.
the same
Mm-hmm.
time, he gave her support.
Very much so.
He gave
Lots
the
of support.
Queen support. He
Mm-hmm.
was a family man.
Mm-hmm.
Again, human. He was a
Yes.
family man. So,
Yes.
you know, I'm not saying to disregard if he had any quote unquote bad etiquettes or whatever the case is,
Mm-hmm.
but he had over 300 charities.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't have 300 charities. And I think for me, yeah, I admired him. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if he was racist. I can't say he was. I don't know.
You
But
don't
I
know.
admired him because
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
stance he took as a man, not as a royal, as a
Mm-hmm.
man, to take
Mm-hmm.
two steps behind a woman of such
Mm-hmm.
high caliber,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
okay? And then also remember, he was a pauper. He came from royalty and became a pauper.
Yes. Yes.
Does that make sense to anybody?
No.
But not also to mention that the two of them met when he was 30, they were 13 or something like that, 13 years old. And
Yes.
to meet at 13 and be married for 73 years, oh, just saying that gives me a headache. Oh, Lord.
It's
That's
73
love.
years.
73
That's
years.
dedication. That's commitment.
Commitment.
Oh, my
That's
That's the
goodness.
patience,
works.
Jeez.
Yeah.
understanding,
Mm,
loyalty.
yes. Yes.
Wow.
And
Call
And the
some
list
more
goes
words,
at
on.
Liesel. Call
least,
some more words.
well, at least, at least he didn't at least whatever happened behind closed doors we didn't know about it, but they smile and nod when they're in public, which is very, very important also. But you can see the love, you can feel the love between the two of them.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, you
Yeah.
can feel it, you can see it, they show it, you know. And the fact that he had to walk behind her, like you said, is just protocol. It's just like everywhere the president go, the first lady is not there. I mean, he whether she like it or not, he was the boss, and in terms of the queen, she is the boss. So, you know, it's just a matter of protocol. It has nothing to do. It's not nothing personal. It has to do with the job. Comes with the
Yes.
job.
And I
Yeah.
think too
Yes.
that she would have respected him as her husband as
Yes.
well and did not lord it over him that she
Mm.
is queen. You know, I think
Yes.
she still maintained her place and her
Mm.
role as the
Mm.
wife and allowed him to lead and to be the husband and to be the man
Yes.
and to be the
Yes.
father.
Yes.
You know, because
Yes.
if it was a case where she was trying to be the dominant one and the overpowering one and the one lording her
Mm.
royalty over him, things may
Mm.
be different. But I think that
Exactly.
she probably would have humbled herself
Mm.
and allowed him to be the man in the household,
Mm.
Hmm.
Yes.
which is
Yes.
important.
Yes.
But he also being there, like she said, quote unquote, he gave her strength and you know, he gave her moral support and
Yeah,
he was walking behind you know, I mean, you could say in the modern times he had my back.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
he had
and I
her
think
back.
he held the
So
family down and held the family together
yes,
when she had
yes.
to do her commitments. He held the
Hmm.
family together. He was there for the kids. You
Yes,
Yes.
know,
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes. This is
played
a
a very
case of
important role.
like they say, behind every successful man there's a woman, and this is the
Hmm.
opposite.
Yes.
Behind every
Yeah,
successful woman there was the man.
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
So you know, it worked both ways. You know.
Let's have Lionel's insight. I see him there putting up his hand.
Oh dear.
Can you get on now, Lionel? You have the opportunity to say something. Oh, there, he's going around the
Uh-oh.
circle. We losing Lionel.
Oh dear.
Second morning.
Oh dear. The women just take over and just leave Lionel in the corner there. Come on, successful man, walk.
Lionel, did you want to say something? Lionel? Oh my God, he's gone
Oh
again.
dear. He's lost?
Yeah, he's
Oh
lost
dear.
again.
Oh dear. I think he just quit.
You know, most Monday mornings he's on with no glitches.
Oh my goodness. See, we
None.
just, oh boy. What did we do? Oh dear.
I don't think it's you. I think from last week, Monday, I think he had a long rest over the Easter weekend.
Uh-oh.
And now the same thing is happening again.
He went to bed late last night, probably.
I don't know. But
oh boy.
Every Monday we usually go on, no hiccups, no nothing. And as I told Liesel, I am the techie on my side. My brother is the one who would come on and do little things. And I said, you know what? You're going to be my techie because I can't do everything from this end.
Yeah.
You know? I'm so glad that Joel.
Did we find him?
Yeah, he's back. He's back.
Oh, there you go.
He's back.
Lionel, did we kick you off? Did we scare you off, Lily? Did we scare you off?
Not getting him. And all Liesel is doing is laughing. But I can only laugh with her. Now listen. We're having too much fun here. I'm going to have to get that teacup that Joel has to drink my tea.
Cheers.
Cheers. Now, with all that's happening, how do you ladies think the mental state of mind is between the COVID-19 and between St. Vincent now and Barbados, and they visited the Cross Islands?
Oh dear.
How do you think this? Because this is like another shutdown. This is like another lockdown, not shutdown.
Yes. Well, first of all, it just added on the other 50% because I'm 50% crazy already. So it just added on 50% onto my craziness. So I'm
so now you're 100%.
I am at 100 now. I mean, like, you know, I was trying to come down from 50 to get probably to maybe about 25, but you know, it hit 75% and just went right back up. So that's my normal now, my normal crazy. So
what does Liesel think? How do you think it has affected folks mentally?
Oh, this is hard. It's hard, especially if you're accustomed to being on the go, if you're accustomed to being an outdoorsy type of person. And I like the indoors, but I also like to know that I can hop into my vehicle at any time and go anywhere. And the fact that I can't do that is difficult. And I think it's affecting people greatly. The lockdown was hard, but yes, you know, you had your days where you can go to the supermarket, go to the pharmacy. So you were still able to interact with people and be outdoors. But now the ash has come.
Oh dear.
When you're told, okay, you're free to roam, and now you can't.
No.
So, and before, when you were locked down, at least you can have your windows open, you can have your doors open, you can still get that fresh air, you can get the breeze. But now for the last 2-3 days, I had to have my windows and doors shut to prevent the ash from coming in. So I can't get that fresh air that I'm accustomed to getting. It's affecting my sinuses. And it is stressful. It's stressful. I just want to go outside. I just want to feel the breeze in my face. And Air inside is just circulating. You may put on a fan, but it's the same ashy air inside that's circulating because the ash is getting in,
Yes.
even though the windows and doors are closed. I'm mopping all the time,
Yeah.
and when I throw away my water, it's black. So it's depressing. My face doesn't look like it's depressing. Oh, I can't take it anymore. I look outside at my lawn, at my
Oh
driveway,
dear.
at my vehicle, and I'm like, ugh,
Mm.
a
Oh,
mess,
oh
what a
dear.
mess. And I'm
Oh.
not looking forward to the
Mhm.
cleanup. You know, the indoor cleanup is hard enough as it is wiping down surfaces, mopping up, and so on.
Mhm.
But then
Mhm.
I haven't even tackled the outdoor as yet, and I'm not really
Mhm.
looking forward to it either. No.
Well, we want
Okay.
you to remain safe.
Oh
What
my
Yes,
I
goodness.
I will.
well,
Mm.
with what's happening, we have a lot of devastation happening. Now,
Mhm.
I don't want to make it sound cruel,
Back to
Mhm.
but
back.
so that people get a little insight into Joel. Joel has been in the um oh there, I got a block there just now.
Social
You had
services.
social services
Mhm.
and you have dealt with a lot of seniors, but you have dealt with people in general with the mental state, mental
Mhm.
frame of mind,
Mhm.
and you as a social worker from that perspective.
Yeah. Well.
Liesel is also the co-founder and chairman of the Save Foundation in
Mhm.
Barbados.
Mhm.
It's a foundation where it is for abused women, and it's a foundation that helps those individuals who are definitely in need. Now, with
Okay.
the pandemic and now in Barbados,
Mhm.
in comparative to both aspects of what's happening,
Mhm.
um, early in one of our conversations on another show, a
Mhm.
lady said that you're now getting more domestic abuse. And we were like, what? Why? Because people are indoors more,
Mhm.
and it is affecting both sexes now, both the man and the woman. And it
Mhm.
is very detrimental to what's happening, not only in Barbados, in the world. Now,
Okay.
we have a double whammy right now.
Yes. Yes.
And I want Liesel's take on it because sh I'm sure sometimes her phone is still going from time to time. And now with this, what is she seeing down the road? Because we're going to be like this, they said, for more than a day, more than a week.
Mhm.
So, really
Mhm.
and truly, as I said, it's like another lockdown.
Yes.
People who
Yes.
Yeah.
suffer from asthma, um, you know, people may not have food in their homes.
Mhm.
The children are doing online, and some people might not have electricity. What, what I don't want to say expect, but what do you anticipate now would happen, and how would your foundation come into play with I know it might have been drained from the COVID period, but now we are still in COVID and now we have this.
Yeah.
What what's your take on what's going to be? I know you're anticipating other things to be transpiring now. So what's your take?
Well, as it relates to the COVID situation first, yes, countries around the world reported an increase in domestic violence during the COVID period because families are in confined spaces. You can't go anywhere. There's limited transportation, if any at all. There's limited access to magistrate courts and
Mhm.
to health care. So, you're basically stuck in your situation. Shelters around the world also reported that they were full to capacity, and
Wow.
countries had to open emergency shelters because the demand was so overwhelming. So, here in Barbados, we saw similar situations in terms of increased numbers in during the pandemic period in domestic violence. And during that period, what you get is a shadow pandemic. So the COVID was a pandemic, and the increase in domestic violence was a shadow pandemic because the situation created a pandemic in domestic violence. Um, so it has been tough, and now that we've had a bit of relief, and then we had our second wave, so then people had to go into lockdown once again. And now that we are getting a little free up, now we have to lock down again because of the ash. So I'm sure with the stress levels rising and people not being able to go out to work and make money, because we know that financial issues in families are like some of is the major cause for a lot of arguments and fights. Financial stress is a huge stressor in families. So I think that we will see a continued rise in domestic violence and abuse in general, because it's not just husband on wife or wife husband or boyfriend on girlfriend and girlfriend on boyfriend, but you also have parent on child, child on child, because for domestics means the family living under one roof. So it's not just the parents, it's also the children that will be affected as well, because everybody is stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Joelle?
that's a mouthful right there.
Yeah.
That's certainly a mouthful, and I would probably think that when basically what she's saying is I agree with, because here is a situation where people are used to not seeing each other all day. And then, they come home from work or from school or anything like that. So it's not that tiring, because then you welcome the sight of family, your husband, your wife, whatever, because you've been out working and it probably was a stress day or whatever. So you come home and you're happy to see your family. But in situations where people are retired, usually the wife usually retires first, or the wife might be just have been a homemaker and not out working, and the husband and the children are off to school, so she's home alone. And then it comes a time when now the husband now retires, so he's in the house with her 24/7. And she's probably not used to that.
Yeah.
So every little thing that he wasn't seeing, he's now seeing, or he's now picking at, or she's now picking at him. And because now they're close to one another, they're in the same house now. So it's not a matter of escaping for 8 hours in a day anymore. It's like you're there 24/7. And so and then you have the added pandemic. And we don't get the volcanic situation every day, but I'm going to base it on the pandemic. That makes it even harder, because now you have the kids home. You have to be acting as a housewife or homemaker, as they say. And then you have to be, dealing with the kids' homework. And what if you don't know how to do the homework? That creates a problem. You see, because our style of learning back then is not the same style today. So the parents might have known the education from before, what she or he had learned from before, might be a little bit difficult to learn now, to understand what the child is doing. And that could be very frustrating, because the child is depending on you as a parent to help them with the homework. And if you can't, it's frustrating for you and the child. So this creates maybe screaming at each other and the child crying, and so it's a frustrating thing. It's really, really not good. And with the shutdown now and the ashes and all that kind of thing, now you're really stuck, because then there's no school, there's no work, so you're stuck. You can't go outside, you can't do nothing, which is
can't go to the beach.
You can't go nowhere, you know. So it's very, very stressful. And if you're already stressed, that adds to it, and that could be a catastrophe. Unfortunately, it can lead to domestic violence, any kind of violence, because you can be so frustrated that you could lose it. You know, so we have to, my recommendation would be to, even though you're indoors, you know, keep in contact with friends, call people, call seniors, keep in contact with people, use your social media to help you. Because if you are just going to base your life on your home, on what's going on in the house, well, then that's going to cause a problem. But if you can, I can't say go on as usual, because it's not, it's not as usual. Yeah. But try to make it as usual as possible by communicating with friends, being on the phone with friends, cheer somebody up, call somebody. Who knows, maybe you might pick up the phone and call somebody, and they might just be sitting there depressed or frustrated or probably ready to do whatever, God knows what. And the phone happened to ring, and you might be there to stop that person from doing something that they shouldn't be doing or attempting to do. So even though I am retired, I still keep in contact with my friends. And I check with the seniors. I check with the seniors and to make sure that they're okay. I'm calling them, or they're calling me, and it's very difficult. I haven't seen my children and grandchildren in a long time, and that is frustrating for me. Very frustrated, because I think I saw my daughter once or twice since the pandemic, because I can't go there, they can't come here. So we depend on the telephone to survive, but we're still surviving, when I hear their voice or they hear mine, it's, they still know that I'm here, the comfort of knowing that we're supporting each other, so it's a difficult task, because I like to see my grandchildren, because, I like to spoil them and stuff. So I like to see them, and, but, it's not easy, but, I try, to use, to stay as calm as I can, and contact friends, keep in contact with my friends, and they're the only family I have here, my kids and grandkids, because I had a family, but as people grow older, my parents died, and I'm here now with just my children and grandkids, so
I remember your dad.
Easy. You remember my dad, eh?
Yeah, I remember your dad on Jacqueline Street.
Yes.
Lionel, do you think you can add a little bit? I know you're hearing.
Where is he? I don't even see him. He says he's having, I'm texting him as I go along. He said he's having internet issues.
Yeah. Can you hear Lionel? I see him there. And it's always nice to have his perspective.
Yeah.
He's moving and he's hearing.
Moving. Oh, there. I can't seem to, he's texting me, but that's all he's saying. He's having internet issues.
Can you say anything, Lionel? I always like to give him the benefit of a doubt.
Yeah.
And he's smiling.
He's smiling, okay. I'm hearing a little something.
Oh, there. Now, do you think that, well, everybody talk about the government. I'm posing this here to Liesel. Do you think that, I know your foundation depends on donations.
I'm here, but I'm not too sure if you're.
We're hearing you. I'm
hearing you now, but I'm not seeing it. Well, I'm not seeing anybody. I'm just seeing my cup here.
And it doesn't look like it's overflowing because you keep drinking.
Yes. I'm telling you, oh boy, I'm having a ball with my cup.
What do you have in that, Joel?
I can hear.
Something clear.
Sounds like vodka.
Gin.
Sounds like vodka,
I
Joel.
am not saying anything. I have something clear.
Okay. She
You
has
know?
something clear.
Yes, it's clear,
Okay.
crystal clear, crystal
Somewhere.
clear.
You're not hearing me.
Yes,
I'm
we
hearing
are,
you.
Lionel.
Evening somewhere in the world.
Yes.
All right.
Lisa said it's evening.
Yes, Lionel. What is in your cup?
I'm speaking.
Mm-hmm. You're having a problem with your microphone, I believe. I'm not hearing. We're not
But
hearing you.
but
Mhm.
I'm speaking.
Oh
No,
Lord.
we're not
I'm
hearing
really
you.
missing Lionel's input this morning because this is something that he likes to give his 2 cents worth on.
Yes, yes.
It's really something. So don't go off, Lionel. We're seeing you moving, and I think it's your delay from where you are. Really and truly. Say something. Say anything.
My scroll.
You're getting feedback.
Yeah. Hold on. It sounds
Man.
tired.
Sounds like an alien.
He sounds like he been drinking. What have you been drinking?
Something white.
Something clear.
Something clear.
Clear. Now, I want to know, are counselors being provided through the foundation, or are they provided through the government? How are they helping in this situation?
Well, I can speak for Save Foundation, and we do free counseling. We do free counseling.
Okay. So
Yes.
it's readily, is it available 24/7?
Yes, yes, we do free counseling to men and women. Because some
Ah,
people think that we only cater to females, but we cater to both men and women because we do recognize that domestic abuse not only affects women, but it also affects men.
what's the
So
Sure
we
does.
cater
percentage?
to,
What's the percentage between women and men? Is it higher or is it at the same level now?
well, based on statistics, women are higher. And well, that is largely because, one, women tend to report more
Let
than
me
men.
close this window. I'm having
Um,
some construction issues here. Excuse me.
Okay. Mhm.
okay.
Go
Um,
ahead.
but yes, women tend to be mostly affected by domestic abuse. Um,
Hmm.
Men to a lesser extent, but men also don't really report it as much as women do. So we would
Why
tend to get less calls from men.
why do you think you men don't report it as much, especially in Barbados?
Because men in the Caribbean on a whole are seen as macho, and if they call or go to the police, for example, to say that their significant other has physically abused them,
Hmm.
they're fear that they would be laughed at or ridiculed or not taken seriously. And it is a real concern. We've had cases that we know of where that would have happened. So they're less likely to report it unless it is something really significant and severe, like maybe damage to their property. Then they would most likely, report it. And it also depends on the extent of the damage because sometimes a woman might not be able to fight with a man and beat a man, but she might do other things like maybe slash his tires or break
That's
his
abuse?
windshield.
That's
Of
abuse?
course, of course, Marie-Stella, that is abuse. That is
Okay.
very much abuse.
Slashing
Of
tires?
course, slashing tires is abuse. Yes. Bleaching his clothes is abuse.
You're kidding.
You may decide to take all his clothing out of the closet and
And
soak
burn
them in
them.
bleach or burn them. That is abuse. You may decide
Oh, yeah.
that you don't want him to leave home today to to go wherever he wants to go, cricket, what have you, and you may hide his car keys, you may hide his shoes. That is abuse, of course, and it happens.
Yeah, it's
I know of a lady that every time her husband tried to leave home to go to the shop to hang out with the fellas, she would fill a bucket of water and douse him with water as he was about to leave home. So he
oh
now
my
has to
goodness.
turn back and go and change. That is abuse, Marie-Stella.
Oh
And it
yes,
is
it
very
is.
real. It
Oh
happens.
yeah.
I
Hmm.
would have never
You think
thought.
just hitting somebody is abuse? No.
No,
All
no.
those are forms of abuse.
The person don't even have to hit you, and you could still be abused
They don't.
because mental abuse is worse sometimes because you may not hit the person, but the
Mhm,
things you're saying to them,
mhm.
in terms
Yeah.
of the self-esteem, that's abuse.
I
Yeah.
I was thinking physical and verbal. I
Oh no, there's all
No, there's
kinds
so
of
much other.
mm-mm.
So, for
oh
example,
Oh
if you
yes.
and your significant other got into a really bad argument,
Hmm.
to lash out at him, you might. That's why these children aren't really yours,
Oh dear.
because you want
Oh
to hurt
Lord.
him.
Yes. Yes.
so that's a
That's
mental
abuse.
a mental thing there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
Because now you know that would send him into a tailspin. You know that he is
Mhm,
going to be hurt. You know he's going to
mhm,
freak out. So you say
mhm,
things that would hurt him. So men
mhm.
suffer from abuse, and we are very much aware of that. And
Exactly.
we help men who are going through abuse.
Mhm.
I know of another case of a man who had to end up in hospital because his wife threw him through a glass door.
Oh dear.
But this man had to be small. I'm not
I
laughing.
agree, Marcel. That's
Not
not
necessarily
that's
so.
not
Not
right.
necessarily so. No, 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 no. You ever hear about a small axe cutting down a big tree?
Yeah,
But
but
there are some men
Yeah.
that don't want to hit women and
No.
determine that they're
No.
not going to hit a woman. So they would
Exactly.
take the physical abuse from the woman, but they're not
Mhm.
going to retaliate, even though they would be well in
What's
their
going
rights
on
because it would
here?
be considered self-defense. But
Right.
suppose he
Mhm.
retaliates now and she ends up hurt. He now is going to go to prison because he would have used excessive force.
it's a
So there
force.
are some
Yeah.
men
Yeah.
that don't want to retaliate, so they take the lashes knowing that, they think that
Mhm.
society and the court might not be fair to them if they retaliate.
Exactly.
How
I want to jump in there a little bit.
So,
Withholding affection,
of course,
withholding sex,
of course,
withholding
and we
not
women are known
cooking.
for it.
Yes, that's also abuse.
Yes,
That's
wow.
abuse. Yeah,
I, I never
because
would have thought
as
that.
women say when they shut
yes,
shop, when they shut
yes,
shop, that is abuse.
that's it. Because he has to
Just
lie there and you
shut
probably turn
up.
your back and he has to, deal with it, that kind of thing. That's abuse.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
very
Yeah,
much abuse.
I hope people who are watching
Yeah, there are
and
many
are
forms of,
listening.
I'm not saying let's make it clear because we don't want to send any confused messages. We
Mm,
just want to send messages that things that could happen. I'm not
right.
saying if your husband needs sex and you're tired or whatever, or the famous one, I have
Or
a headache.
ill.
You know what I mean? I don't mean it like abuse, but in a way, sometimes you may be tired and
Hmm.
you're really saying, well, I'm tired or whatever, and or he might be tired. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And that's a normal way of things. One might be tired or the other one might be tired. But when you willfully, you know, do that for every night or whatever, or you decide he says something you don't like and you decide you're not going to cook, or you put the food in front of him and then as soon as you go to pick it up, you throw water in it or some ridiculous thing. That is abuse.
Well, someone here, all the way from Montreal as
Mhm.
well. Morning to Philip Aline.
Oh dear.
He
Oh
says,
no.
in the
Oh
early
no.
years, many people lived in one house and there was no stress.
Mm. Well, that's true. I agree with you that I true because I didn't put up with all of that when I was growing up. I had a lot of people in the house, and yes, we did have our little ups and downs and whatnot. But um, my siblings and I, we had the little argument here and there, but we were okay. We were okay. We played. We find ways of playing, which kids don't do these days because they have a bundle of toys and yet they're saying, "Oh, I'm bored" and all this kind of thing. When I hear that word bored, I wonder. I wonder what
No,
you could.
they mean the board, the mean board, this board.
I guess so. The
Yeah,
real board, yeah, because
yeah.
they have so many toys and everything which we didn't have, and we
No,
somehow got along,
yeah,
you know. And there wasn't that kind of. Occasionally, you might see domestic abuse in those days, and if the person is drinking, you might get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The person, because there's a happy drunk and there's a miserable drunk. Some people would drink and come home and go to sleep, and some people would drink and come home and fight.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
all that is considered abuse, not just for the wife, but also for the children seeing those things. Philip,
Yeah.
did you fight with anybody? Did Philip fight with anybody?
No, I don't think so. I
No, I
don't think
don't
so.
think
He's
so.
just he's
Philip is
just
a nice
watching.
guy. He's a nice guy. Philip
He's
is
just
okay. Yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna I'm sure I should have had him on the talk but he's from
Oh,
a
you,
different vantage point.
yeah.
He's more children.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
he
Hmm.
will be coming from a child's perspective, from children's perspective,
Yes.
really. Not that he cannot add to the conversation, but he will. And I'm sure Liesel will be quite inept to
Hmm.
understand. He's a long friend of mine,
Hmm.
and he also lives in Montreal. And I have a lot of friends that are actually following the show, which tells you
Right.
Hmm.
how informative it is.
Hmm.
And I'm lost for words, really,
Hmm. Hmm.
from
Hmm.
what Liesel said, because you know, women may think differently. That's the truth
Hmm.
about what abuse really is about. You know,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't see it from what you're seeing, and I wouldn't think of those little things to be abuse.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
latter
Very much
part
so.
that you mentioned, I would think of
Hmm.
because you know, funny enough, portray women to be the more sex to be abused. As you said, you get more females than males because the males don't come forward. And
Hmm.
a
Right.
film that comes to mind that really resonates, that remained in my mind, that if anything like that had to happen,
Hmm.
was Enough with the leading star of Jennifer Lopez.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're swept away by love, and the
Hmm.
guy is looking after you, and you're not paying attention to other things, but when things start to get a little testy, you then pick up on certain things,
Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
she realized that if she didn't do try to get away,
Hmm.
that he might have killed her.
Oh dear.
And
Yeah.
I mean, when these writers write these films,
Hmm.
I'm wondering, is it that they're pulling from an incident, or did it happen to them, or a friend, or a family member? And as a woman, our mind is set on what's she doing? What's she doing? Get away. And
Mhm.
as you said earlier, Joelle,
Hmm.
have a friend. She
Yes.
had friends. She really had friends that helped her. And I
Hmm.
think one of the reasons why she had friends is the character that the husband played was a police officer. And
Hmm.
once somebody's in force,
Hmm.
they have control. They have a full control of things. And I'm sure Lizelle would have come across scenarios like that where,
Hmm.
Too many.
quote unquote, you do have people who are in the force
Hmm.
who themselves may not think that they're being abusive because they already are in an authoritative position.
Hmm.
So it's a bit different. And they think that so when you really sit down and think how how it switched from a woman to man,
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's something instinctively a woman will. She fed up and vexed, get the clothes and throw them out, or as you
Abuse.
say, put them in a bucket and burn them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Abuse.
You know, as a woman, you wouldn't even think of that because that was happening for years.
Yeah, yeah. But at the time that was happening, if I remember correctly, when I saw so much abuse in the neighborhood. Okay, and to us at that time, it was funny. It was like, guess who's fighting? So and so and so and so fighting again, and
But then
everybody
it was
ran out and watched this. It was entertainment.
yeah,
Okay,
but then it wasn't.
and if
It
the
didn't have a name. It didn't have
yes.
a name.
No, no, it was like she's fighting again, they're fighting again. Oh, don't pay them no mind, they're always fighting. You know, and in the meantime, you're seeing some people, they're throwing rocks at the person, they're getting hit with a rock, and it was at the time, it was like just a by the way thing, and if the police enter at
Uh-huh.
that time. If the police enter, and the man, or he might know the couple, and he might say to them, "Well, why you guys don't behave yourself, or why you don't, or something." Or he might take the guy out of the house and say, "Let me go and have a drink and cool down," and like it's so casual. And but in today's situation now, um, I see that in Barbados now they have social workers. They have that they have abuse places that you can go and talk to people, and which is good because in today's world it's different because what we went through and what we learned, when the younger generation comes forward with what they're learning and what they're seeing, they're saying, something is not right here. Something doesn't make sense here. This and they're really coming forward, and the younger generation, they're speaking out. They're saying, well, take for example, some of the statues and stuff that are in Barbados. Okay, and like this day they would say, well, what did he do for us? The young people are like they're researching these things. They're researching these things and realize, well, he didn't do anything for us. Why that person is in the middle of Broad Street, and they didn't do anything for us in terms of being a hero. He's not my hero. What did he do?
Right.
And so the younger generation is researching. They're doing a lot of things different to us. Okay, the younger
On
generation.
the other hand, Joe, though,
Mhm.
you'd be surprised that the amount of young girls
Mhm,
that
that are
are in
being
abusive
yes,
relationships
yes,
and
yes.
they settle for it
Mhm,
Yeah.
and they feel trapped in that situation as well. You would be
mhm,
surprised, even
yes.
though young people have all the access to information and
Mhm,
internet and
mhm,
all of those
mhm,
things, how young they get
mhm.
themselves involved in abusive relationships.
And
And
sometimes,
I guess it, sorry?
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
And a lot of them settle for it because they're
Mhm,
getting babies from these guys and getting themselves even more trapped, you
mhm,
know?
mhm. But
So,
some younger generation, in terms of the girls, they might feel, well, because let me go and have a baby for him, and when I have a baby for him, maybe he'll change,
you
or
change,
maybe he'll
yeah.
act different, and I'm gonna have a baby because the baby signifies love and affection, and
And
but they don't know what they're, yeah,
statistics show that the abuse actually increases when they're
yes,
pregnant. So
exactly, and
it's
they're
that
not aware of
intensive
that, yeah,
stage
yeah.
when they are
Really?
pregnant.
Hmm.
Yes,
Hmm. Hmm. And there's some women that would probably feel or say, well, if he doesn't hit me, he doesn't love me. He's not jealous enough
yes,
over me,
there are
and,
those.
there's some of them that think different, and in terms of the younger generation, it could be it's a thing of monkey see, monkey do, you know? So
Can it also be that it stems to that if, as you mentioned now, with a woman having a child for an abuser, um, that child seeing what the mother experienced, for some reason, the Barbadians say the apple don't fall too far from the tree,
exactly.
ends up in the
It's a
same kind of
cycle.
relationship.
Same thing
It's
I
a
was saying.
cycle.
It's a monkey see, monkey do kind of thing, And somebody has to break the cycle
It's
and
a cycle
be
for
strong and
sure.
say, look, I'm not taking this. My mother took it, but I'm not taking it. I'm getting out
Right.
of here.
So what does Lionel have to say?
Oh dear. Lionel, who abused
Please,
you?
Lionel.
Poor Lionel. Lionel probably is being abused right now because we're taking over the show, and that's abusive, I'm telling you.
And Lionel has himself muted as well.
Oh dear. He's scared. Are you scared?
Lionel, can you
Well,
hear
while
us?
Lionel gets his thoughts together, what I
Okay.
wanted to add to that point was um, we were just talking about the whole cycle of abuse.
Yes,
And
yes.
sometimes women stay in those abusive relationships
Hmm.
because of the children, right? They say that
Mm,
they're staying
mm,
because of the children. They want the
mm.
children to grow up in a home with both mommy and daddy.
And daddy.
Well, can
Hmm.
I tell you something? When those
Mm.
children grow up to be adults, they end up despising their mother. Why? Because they say to me, I could never understand why mommy just would not leave my father. I don't understand why
Wow.
she stayed and took all of those blows, why she stayed and took all that abuse. And they end up not liking the mother for staying, and they swear to themselves they are never going to let any man treat them the way their father treated their mother, and they just wanted their mother to leave.
Yeah.
But the mother is here saying, I am not leaving. I'm going to stay for the children so they can have both parents. They
Well,
didn't
this.
want, the children don't want to be in that situation.
Hmm.
It's too
Wow.
much for children. They don't want to be in it.
Well, some people, so it's not only sticking around for the children, but it could be sticking around for financial purposes. If
Yes.
And
you know,
blaming
Yeah.
the children probably.
if I
Yeah.
have two children, how am I going to support my children? And he's the only one. He's the breadwinner, so to say, so to speak. He's bringing in the bacon, and if I leave, where's the bacon going to come from? And all these things go through. Can go through a woman's head, and
And it's real. It's
yeah,
real.
it's a kind of a trap. You can be trapped in a situation that you find all kinds of excuses, or then again, you can love the man so much that you don't even want to leave. You see, and you're
Wow.
thinking, oh, he's gonna change. Oh, I'm gonna give it some time. Oh, he's gonna change. He didn't mean it. He didn't mean it because yesterday, he hit me yesterday, and then this morning he brought me flowers. So he didn't mean it. But after a while,
The cycle, girl.
yes, yes,
Flowers.
the flowers and
With
the
the,
perfumes
with
and
the,
all
That's
kind of
part of
thing.
the cycle.
with the
Yeah,
box of chocolates.
The
well,
flowers, the
chocolate,
chocolates, the
yeah, yeah,
lingerie,
yeah,
taking you out to dinner. That's all
everything.
a part of
The
the
works.
cycle. Jewelry.
Yeah, yeah, to
So
get you
Do you
right
the
think?
back
cycle
there
is
then.
Go
abuse,
ahead. Uh-huh.
Mm.
the the apology and
Oh yeah,
making
they'll
up.
cry too. They'll cry. They'll cry. They'll cry. You get that
Oh
walk
yeah,
and
I'll
cry
never do
too.
it
Oh yeah.
again.
Oh yeah.
It's the stress at work. I don't know what
Oh
you're
yeah.
thinking.
Yeah. And they
Ladies,
mean it. And
we need a Medea in there
you telling
because the
me?
last time, the
Mm-hmm.
last time I saw that, that
Mm.
But
was.
then what happens after the romance is
Yes.
that
Mhm.
the abuser starts
Uh-huh.
to fantasize about abusing you again.
Yes, because
And
he,
they
he,
start
he
to think
realized
about
that
how
the,
he can
the
abuse us, he
so-called
can abuse you again.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
So
the
it goes
Wow.
from
so-called
abuse,
the so-called makeup sex is great. So,
yes, yes,
it
yes,
becomes a pattern,
yes, yes,
you
yes.
know.
Well, let me
So,
tell you, this is a
And they
real
just go in
discussion here.
circles. They just
mhm,
go
We
in circles. Abuse,
me
makeup, fantasize about abuse, abuse.
Yeah.
Makeup, fantasize about it, abuse.
Abuse
Makeup,
again.
fantasize
Yeah.
about it,
Yeah.
abuse. And
Yeah.
on and on
Yeah.
and on it goes.
well,
Yeah.
let me
And they
tell
get
you.
caught up and they
Oh
think it's
yes.
love. It's
It's
not
love.
love at
Oh
all.
yeah, it's not love. It is being in control, being domineering. You have to watch those things even before you get into a marriage
Absolutely.
because
Definitely.
we tend to see a lot of red flags and they say love is blind, so we don't see those red flags. We see them but
We
we
make
ignore them.
excuses. We
Yeah,
make
Yeah.
excuses. Oh, he only calls me 40 times a day because he loves me.
he
He's
loves
just
me. Yeah,
checking up on me to make sure I'm
yeah,
Wow.
okay.
yeah.
If
No,
if
he wants to know
only.
where you are every minute of the day.
He's exactly. He wants to know you're in the house, and he's gonna call your cell because you don't. You know that some abusers, the first thing they say to you, they don't say hello. How you know what the first thing they say? Where are you?
Where you at? Where
Wow.
you at?
Yeah, where are you? First thing, know how
And
you
then
doing? How's your day? That's something you gotta look out for
sometimes
Yes,
you have to
Lizelle.
even take a picture and
and send
send
it.
to the abuser
Hmm.
to prove that you are where you say you are. Of course.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Marcella, you
And
look so shocked.
oh dear.
Well,
And
no, I will be doing a Medea on them. No, say it so. But
Then they
Lizelle,
tell you how to wear your hair. They want
oh
to tell
yeah.
you
Lizelle,
what clothing to wear.
Yes.
hold up.
Yes.
Oh, I don't like you in makeup. I don't like
Yes.
you in with that hairstyle. And it's
Yes.
all subtle forms of
Wait.
trying to get control.
Okay.
I don't like when you hang out with your girls. Your girls don't like me. I don't like when
Okay.
you go by
Mm,
your parents. I don't.
mm.
Your parents don't like me. Now they're isolating you. So now
That
one, they have you
exactly.
looking how they want you to look. Now
Uh-huh.
two, they move on to
Yes.
the isolation. So
Yes.
now they
Yes.
make you think that your friends don't like them. So now you stay away from your friends. Then they make you
Right.
think that your
Mhm.
parents don't like them. So now you stay
There
away
you
from your
go.
parents.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, the
You're
only person you
isolated.
have is them.
It's him. That's right. That's
Because
right.
you now push everybody away. So
Mm-hmm.
when they start to abuse you, who you gonna run to? The same people that you push away.
Yeah.
You can't. You stuck.
That's true. You're so right. It's true. There's so many little things that we don't see as women and as men too. We're not going to
Yeah.
say that men are not being abused, but
Right.
um, for a woman, if a woman is being abused, she can call a friend, she can call the police, she can call, and they will say, oh dear, and they'll come rushing over. But if
Mm-hmm.
a man calls his buddy and say, you know what, man, this woman hitting me all the time, or I'm afraid of this woman, or they'll probably get a bit, you gotta be crazy. You afraid of a woman? Are you crazy? And it becomes a joke.
Yeah.
So then they
Yeah.
don't say anything. They'll rather not say anything than be embarrassed because they're coming to you as a best friend to say something, and that best friend might say, "Man, come on, man, you got to be kidding me, man. I give the woman a
Wow.
lash or something. You starting up for that." But the person may
Yeah.
not be an abusive person. The person might be, just they'll rather not hit you, or they're not used to hitting anybody else. So they're not
Yeah.
gonna. It's
Well,
difficult. You know.
I think that this conversation,
Mhm.
don't doubt me, this conversation has really enlightened me. It has also given me a headache because I could
Oh
never
dear.
think
Mhm.
of half of these aspects to
Mhm.
abuse coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, on and you know, I think when we really sit down and think about it,
Mhm.
it comes back to the mental psyche of the individual,
Very much
be it
so.
man or woman.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
how things are perceived. Um, I think it is a battle a lot of us aren't seeing
Mhm.
because rightfully some people, most people, the majority of individuals hide it up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And those individuals who are friends or family who do see it and do try to help.
Mhm.
I think a couple of years ago, as you well, you know, we're living on the outside. We're not seeing what's happening on the inside.
Mhm.
Because we're going to wrap up. There was a guy who worked not with my husband, but they worked alongside, and he worked. I'm not sure if Lisa would remember that situation. He was employed at the geriatric hospital, and I knew him, not personally, but I knew him. And you would say to yourself, "Oh, that nice chap. How you doing? Everything's cool." And oh yes, I'm good. Blah 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 blah. And everybody would always say that the guy is pleasant or whatever.
Mhm.
Only persons associated with the family or the person who was being abused, as you said, the husband could be saying this and saying that or whatever.
Mhm.
And you see the person that day. Then the next day, unfortunately, he killed his wife and
Oh
then
dear.
himself.
Mhm.
Um, and then it was all stemmed from quote unquote.
Mhm.
Um, it's alleged that she was speaking with somebody else and stuff like that. He used to follow her and call her, and obviously this it's only now you're saying those things that it just came back to mind.
Mhm.
And
I actually
she
the
she
wife.
left him. She left him. She had left.
Yeah, I
I
knew the
don't think
wife.
he was.
Funny enough.
Yeah, and he was trying to cool her back home, and he planned it all. It was all premeditated.
Mhm.
And when he
Yeah,
called her, his mother told her not to go, and she said yes, she's going to go and talk with him. I don't think she anticipated that would have been her last time.
Mhm.
And I think it has to do with the mental psyche. Because if she left, she shouldn't have gone there alone. But obviously, she trusted him.
Yeah, she felt like she knew
She
him, you
trusted
see.
him.
Mhm.
And, you know,
Mhm.
I guess me too, I would trust him. I wouldn't think that he would go to that level.
but you can
Yeah.
meet in a public place. You don't have to meet um in a
In
place where
familiar
it's just you
territory
and him in the
to the
household.
abuse,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
You
yeah.
can meet in a
But I
public
don't think
place.
she was
For
at
people
that
that
time
are
unite
listening,
Liesel. Yeah, at that time unite Liesel. She ain't thinking about meeting in a public place at that time unite. That was all premeditated.
Mhm.
Whatever he
yeah,
did was premeditated. He knew what he was about, you know.
yeah,
And it is sad because then sometimes you don't even know your own friends. Not that he
That's
was a
right.
friend.
Mhm.
I would say an
yeah.
acquaintance because as I said, I would say hi, how you doing? You're good, and they would say hi, I'm good. And you might have a little chit chat about the weather, politics, or whatever. But you
Mhm.
would never come to the point of knowing that this person would do something so evil. And I
But
mean, I love
on
grieving.
another note here, you could be actually married to somebody and still don't know what they're doing outside.
Ah, there you go. There
You
you
don't
go.
know what they're doing. The police show up and say, I'm coming to arrest your husband, and you're like, what? My husband? You sure you have the right address and all this thing? And and the person is there living a double life, and you don't even know.
So
You
before I
don't
forget,
know.
for these out, with your
Hmm.
cases, how do the police treat those cases? Because sometimes you would have a domestic abuse. Again, we see it on TV. You have a domestic abuse. You call the police. This is not a friend calling the police for you. You call the police, and the police come and they take 5 hours, 10 hours. They might not even come the same day. They come the next day, if at all.
Oh dear.
How are those cases treated? Do you have now to drill further to get them to take action before something like that happens?
Mm.
Well, we
That's a
have
Tough,
hard
had a
question.
lot of
tough, tough.
yeah, we've had a lot of improvement in Barbados when it comes to the police, because we have set up a separate unit, a domestic violence unit that
Hmm.
is based in Roebuck Street at the
Hmm.
headquarters,
Hmm.
and that unit is responsible for dealing with the domestic violence cases on the
Hmm.
island. And I think that they're being dealt with a lot better I can't speak for all cases because I don't really know of all the cases. They all don't come to us. But I would like to think that with education and training, that the police are treating it more seriously. And
Mm,
the police are still human beings, just like you and I.
Yes.
So if you are getting a call from the same woman every Friday,
hmm,
and every Friday night you go to her house and you tell her the same thing,
hmm.
ma'am, you need to leave, ma'am, you need to put him out, or whatever they may say, ma'am, would you like us to take him out of the house? And she's, no, I don't want you to take him. I love my husband. And or, ma'am, would you like us to take you to the shelter? No, I ain't leaving my house. Um, and then they may warn the gentleman, or and I want to keep it even, or they may warn the lady, depending on who's doing the abuse. And then the
Mm,
next Friday, same call from the same individual. Police are human beings. So they go back to the station, they write up their report. The woman
mm,
didn't want to go to the shelter. She didn't want the man taken out of the household.
hmm.
She didn't want anything done. She just want the police to drive up to the house
I
and
warned the
warn him.
man.
And
Wow.
I deal with that a lot. Um,
Yeah.
when women call me for help and I try to help them,
Right.
I realize that it's not really help that they want. They just want me to tell him to stop beating her. So me telling him stop beating her is going to miraculously cause him to change
Hmm.
and stop beating her. Me, somebody he has never met, he doesn't know me from Adam. I'm just going to say,
Yes.
stop beating the woman, and he will stop. It does not work like that.
You
You
Oh
said you
don't
better
want
my.
be
to take
careful
any
because
steps.
sometimes they want to beat the counselors too. It's true. Sometimes they
You
want
don't
to beat
want
the
to take any
counselors,
steps.
so
You
we
don't
have
want
to
to take
protect
any
ourselves too. We have to be careful. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, of
Want to
course
Well,
beat
we
the
have
well.
to be careful.
counselors, you know,
I've had
because
so many
it's even,
threats.
I'm telling you, yeah, it
Yeah.
could happen. It could happen because if you're telling a woman to leave her husband and you giving her all this lovely advice, and she ups one day and she said, well, you know what? The counselor said I should leave you and I'm leaving you. Who counselor? Next thing, yeah, my counselor, you know? And then the counselor
Yeah.
start getting threats. She is seen or he is seen as the intruder in this person's relationship, you know?
Yeah. Hmm.
You also
Yeah.
have to be careful. You have to, when counselors, policemen, those type of people, they get all kinds of threats and judges and whatnot. And you could work yourself with a case, a big case, and you think you have a case. And when you get there, a woman says, I don't want to press charges. I changed my mind,
Yeah. Yeah.
and she's back in the situation again. In terms of Montreal now, I cannot speak too much for Barbados because I'm not sure what goes on there too much,
Yeah.
except
Canada
what I
has some
read.
beautiful laws.
But the
Canada's
thing
laws are
is,
nice.
the
Yeah.
Canada, well, it wasn't always like that. It
Okay.
wasn't
No.
always like that. It was sometimes the police would come and take the man, whether the man is right or wrong.
Mm.
Mm.
It used to be that the police would come and arrest the man in a domestic situation.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now
Hmm.
the laws have changed. The laws says if you hit me, you're the one getting arrested. And if he hit you, he's the one getting arrested. So the man
Mm.
can call the police now for the woman.
Mm.
You see, it's a
Well,
who
we
hit
want
you.
equality. We wanted
Exactly. You want
equality,
equality,
so we
well, you're
get
gonna
it.
get the same handcuffs that the man is gonna get.
We
Right.
want
Right.
equality. So
See,
yeah.
so
So
that has changed. You can start beating up on a man now, and the man call the police, and the police is just gonna come and say, "Oh, you're a man." No, 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 no. They
so
changed their thing now, so it's who hit who now that has to be thing.
oh, so in Montreal, do you have as much or is it at the same level which Liesel mentioned in terms of the percentage of abuse?
Oh well, obviously, in terms of abuse with men, men men are men, and it depends on how the men are raised, and most men in back in the day were probably raised to men don't cry.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
cry, you're sissy, as they
yeah,
call it.
yeah, yeah.
Men don't cry. But I heard a comedian said one time that she loves to see a man cry, especially when she hit him.
Wow,
Wow.
wow,
So,
wow.
so like, it's something like people, men not supposed to cry. And we're raising our sons and grandsons are saying, oh, don't cry, you're a big boy, don't cry. Come on now. But with
Yeah,
a girl, with a girl now, they want to cuddle the girl and give her some ice cream or let's go shopping and, anything to calm the girl. But in the meantime, the boy has to be macho,
right.
Mm-hmm.
and he has to be the little boy in the corner that says, oh, I can't cry. If I cry, they're going to laugh at me.
Well, I
But
have,
Yeah.
the emotional side of a man, if you see a man cry and really you can see that the man, you can say, well, okay, that man has feelings. There's nothing wrong with a man showing his feminine side by
right.
crying. You know what I mean? Or feeling,
I've,
having good, sad feelings or whatever. You're allowed to cry. So this is what is happening. It's the men are backing off because they're being seen as you know
yeah,
sissies or
I have,
soft, or,
I,
and all that. So
I have
yeah.
one last one here.
Hmm.
Is it, does racism play a part in the abuse as well? Do you get more blacks or is there a mixture, Liesel?
That's a good
Um,
question. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
in Barbados, I would definitely say that we get more black. However, I do see a lot of cases where the woman is not from Barbados and she may
Ah,
be married to or living with a Barbadian man,
Indian. Mm,
and therefore she's at a disadvantage because
advantage.
she doesn't have any of her friends or family in Barbados. So
Hmm.
um, I see a lot of cases with women from other countries,
Mm-hmm,
including international countries, not just
mm-hmm,
our neighbors, but I see cases with women from England, for example,
mm.
who would have given up their job and sold whatever they had up there to move down here to be with
Here.
the man.
Yeah.
And
Oh
then when
boy.
they got here,
Hmm.
would have had her resources depleted. And then
Mm-hmm.
once her resources are depleted,
Depleted.
it seems like, well, he has no more use for her because she has
Wow.
nothing more to offer financially. And then
Wow.
the
Wow.
abuse starts. Yes.
Well,
Mm.
And then
let me
the,
tell
the
you.
other side of
Mm.
that is now cases where the woman is from neighboring islands because
Mm,
she may have come out of a poor environment,
yes.
and she is dependent on him, then abuse occurs because he knows that she is depending on him for survival, for maybe citizenship or residency or what have you. So it's
Mm.
Right.
an opportunity to take advantage.
Right. 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 Well, let me tell you, Liesel,
A lot going on out
Joelle,
there, Marie-Stella.
I am. I have been educated this morning. I
Mm.
have been educated this morning, and you know, Lionel always says, don't look at the time.
Mm.
I think because we don't have adverts, we don't have sponsors. So
Right.
we tend to, once
Yes,
the conversation is good, we tend to go on, which means it's something that we can continue to discuss because there are different aspects
Right.
that
so
we
many.
have to look at.
Mm.
And I want to grab Liesel's details because a lot of people may be watching, maybe listening and say, oh, I have a friend who is so and so. What are the details that we can submit on our page? And while we do our programs on Monday mornings, that we can submit to anyone. I know it's the Safe Foundation. What are the details that you can offer that we can let others know where to contact and how they can
Yeah,
source help
I guess
and assistance.
if they want to get access to the free counseling, they can just simply call the hotline 43 abuse. 43 abuse.
4-3
That's
abuse.
the
Okay.
easy to
All right.
remember.
Right. So folks, 4-3 abuse. The letters obviously stand for the numbers 4-3 abuse.
Mhm.
And I think you also have a website. Do you still have a website?
Yes,
Or yes. And you can also,
yeah,
it's
on
the Save
Facebook, or they
and
can just
Facebook.
contact me on Facebook. Yeah.
Right. Save
Sometimes people
Foundation.
get my cell number. I don't even know how they get it, but they call me, and and it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
want to give it out in this forum, but if
But
they
that
get it
I
on
wouldn't
their
do
own
that
means,
either.
No, 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 no.
it's
But
fine.
Well,
I want to
But
say
if
to
they do,
Lizelle,
yeah,
I want to say to Lizelle that it's definitely was a pleasure meeting you, and I'm gonna congratulate you on the work that you're doing,
thank
because
you.
I'm not in that field anymore. I am retired with my feet up, having my enamel cup of tea.
Nice,
So I
nice,
am not in that particular field anymore. So the stress is less, and
nice.
you know, the thing is about it is that I really admire the younger generation for stepping up to the plate, and you are one of them. And I'm extremely happy
proud.
to and proud to know that you are doing such work for women in general. And
Thank you.
I can't say anything more. You seem to be doing a wonderful job, and keep up
Well,
the
I
good
don't know if
work.
you know, but I'm also a survivor of domestic abuse, and that
Okay.
is what really propels me into
Hmm.
the field
Hmm.
of helping
Hmm.
others. I don't think that
Okay.
if I was a survivor that I would
Hmm.
have gone into that area, to be honest with you, because it never crossed my mind. I
Hmm.
didn't see it growing up in my home,
Hmm.
and the only time I saw abuse was if I was watching a Hollywood movie or
Movie.
something. It was
Hmm.
never close to
Hmm.
me or anyone in my family that I
Yeah.
certainly knew of.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
don't think that if I was touched by it, I would have thought of helping others in that situation. So God
Yeah.
knows what He's doing, and He has our lives in His hand, and that was the path that I had to take so that other
Hmm.
women could get help and get support. So
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
not mad.
Yeah.
We all have a purpose on this earth, and we chose
Yes.
jobs that's for what that brings out the I guess the best in us, or something like that, because um I always had it in me for helping people, and I saw it in my family because my grandfather before me, he worked at the mental hospital. Um, he was one of the big guns there, and then my uncle came along and he worked at the mental hospital. So and my aunt, she was a nurse, and so you and my grandmother. She didn't do anything of the such, but the way how she treated others, you see it, and you see
Yeah.
how um, she didn't just cook for us. She cooked for the neighborhood. All the neighborhood
Wow.
kids would come and eat.
Wow.
They want to eat, they'll come and eat. And she always said, never cook for yourself. Always cook in case somebody drop by.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Our older generation always said that they cook
Yeah.
in case somebody drop by. If you're gonna make extra lemonade in case somebody drop by. It was always is not just for you, but for helping others. And when you're raised like that, you're always it stays with you. It stays with you.
Neighborhoods aren't like that anymore, I'm afraid. Well, I
No,
can't
no,
think of one neighbor I can drop by for some
no, no.
lemonade or for some food. Not
Oh well,
one.
you better call first. You better call first and
I
hope
don't
they
even
answer.
know the number.
I hope they answer the phone. They might see you on ID and say, "Oh no, I ain't talking to she today. Nah, nah, nah. She looking to come by my
Yeah.
house to drink my drink, and It's not the same thing. It's
Things have
different.
changed.
And back then, you didn't have to call anybody. You just come and knock the house. You come and you
Yeah.
knock the house and walk in and have a drink or have something to eat or whatever. And you know, but now it's completely different. Everything has changed. They have more, in my opinion, but
Yeah.
And share less.
more like it's less. Yes, more
Yeah.
is
They
less.
share less, but they have more.
Yes,
And when people had less, they shared more.
thank you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
it in a nutshell.
But I'm not sure if Joel could see Chantal. I was able to get a pic there so
Mhm.
that Liesel, just before we go off, she can actually see Chantal there.
Yeah.
I can't remember what's
She's
the
so
show she
cute.
was singing at. She
But
still looks the
So
same.
cute.
no, wait. Let's get something straight here. I was there before her, so let's get something straight here. Okay, let's make it perfectly clear here. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, you were
Okay.
cute first.
Um,
Okay.
she is the apple that fell from my tree.
Oh,
So
Yes.
don't start complimenting her at the beginning. You know you gotta come through me and then her and
Then
you know
her. Okay.
yeah, that's how it works. You see.
You were
oh
number
my
one
goodness.
cute. She's number two cute.
Oh, tell me about it. No, she's number 3. I'm 1 and 2.
Oh.
I'm 1 and 2, and then she's 3.
Okay.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank Liesel Daisley, the chairman and co-founder of the Save Foundation, for
Mhm.
Well,
spending
and
this
founder.
and co-founder,
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Not
for
cool.
spending the oh gosh, founder. Let me correct it. Founder
No problem.
and chairman of the Save
Yes,
Foundation
please.
for
Mhm.
joining us this morning on Keeping It Real with Marie minus Lionel and our specially invited guest, Jewel Ford, all the way
Jewel
from
Jones. Jewel Ford is your media
I'm missing.
person.
Listen,
Jewel
I'm
Jones, get
missing.
it right here now. Not Jewel
I'm,
Ford. Jewel Ford is an announcer. Come on
listen,
now.
listen. I
Yes,
am
dear.
missing that enamel cup with the clear fluid.
There you go. Mm.
Right. So let me get it right.
Get it
Let me
right.
get it. I
Mhm.
want to thank Liesel Daisley,
Mhm.
founder and chairman of the Save Foundation
Okay.
from Barbados, who is, kudos to her. She would be, if, and I always consider it, one of our women of history. She will be,
Absolutely.
and
Yes.
she would be continue to be
Mhm.
emulated as a
Great.
visionary, not because
Mhm.
of having gone through it, but a visionary. You had a vision, as you say, God showed you something and you went through with it.
Mhm.
And we pray and ask Him to give you strength, faith, and continuous on this journey. It's your journey, and we
Mhm.
pray that we will continue to be with you as
Mhm.
you
Amen.
go through it. And, remember, it's not the accolades, it is your character and your personality that
Mhm.
propels you to do what you're doing. Yes?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
also want to thank Jewel Jones
Thank
from
you.
Montreal, Canada, the mother of my best friend in Canada, who has been following us from the time we began in March. And we want to thank you for taking this morning out to join us. You
Mhm.
have also co-host on Caribbean Showcase in Montreal
Yes.
for a year, and
Many
you
years
played your
ago.
part, and you played
Mhm.
your part,
Mhm.
and you also host. I don't think it's around now, the Reggae Fest. It used to
No,
be
I
on in
didn't host
Montreal.
it. I was a volunteer there for 15
Volunteer,
years.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
So
and most recently, I don't know if you heard of the movie, the U.S. versus Billie Holiday.
yes,
Yeah.
I was an extra in that movie too.
I'm gonna look for
Nice.
you, honey. I'm
Yes,
gonna look for
I
you.
don't know if you're gonna see me because they got me all in a wig and all this kind of thing, and so they got me all made up and in
Nice.
a wig, and they have me wear this mini black dress, and oh man, I'm
Oh.
telling you, man,
Well, we're
Well, at
gonna
least
look
we
for
know what
you.
to look for.
you gotta look really hard.
We're gonna look for you. We're gonna look for
We
you.
will.
Yeah.
I'll check it out
And
today.
Oh yeah,
It's
definitely.
already the movie is already out. Actually, it's on Hulu.
Yes, yes,
Yes, yes, and
yes,
it's directed by Lee Daniels.
yes. I know Lee Daniels. Not a friend of
Yes,
mine, but I know Lee Daniels.
yes,
So I
yes.
want
Yeah.
to, on behalf of Lionel, minus Lionel,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we will be having a special guest next week, Monday. You'll
Mm-hmm.
see that come out shortly.
Wonderful.
Um, as you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
the U.S. versus Billie Holiday. It
Yes,
has an on Andra Day, and
exactly.
I think she was nominated for one of the Golden Globe Awards, and she I think she was in shock to have
Absolutely.
won it.
Yes, she
I
played
think
Billie
she's
Holiday.
yeah, I
Yes.
think she's going to be one of the nominees for the
Mm-hmm.
Oscars, which is going to be aired on the 25th of April.
Mm-hmm.
So we're expected to follow that to see what it's going to be like because you're going to have some black faces up
Mm-hmm.
in there. You have
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Viola Davis with Ma Rainey that also co-starred Chadwick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, you're going to have I can't remember the guy's name. He's English
Mm-hmm.
from Judas. I can't remember the
Okay.
film.
Mm-hmm.
That's another film that I want to follow. And I think by the time we get closer to that, we will be able to talk a little bit more on that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the 19th of the 19th of April, we're going to have a special guest. Don't
Mm-hmm.
want to say the name yet.
Okay.
On the 26th, we're going to have Chantal Monroe Knight with us,
Mm.
and I must
So you'll
also
be talking
add
about
Joel.
marijuana.
I want to add so Joel realizes I'm not
Mm-hmm.
reaching out just to anyone. I'm reaching out to
Let's hear.
in, individuals
Mm-hmm.
who contribute or who have contributed to the
Mm-hmm.
growth of Barbados.
Okay.
Um, it's
Mm-hmm.
something Lisa said to me, and I smiled.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the limelight, it's about what your contribution is to the society.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, a lot of persons have been forgotten along the way. Some we highlight, people would remember and people would know or are presently still in the limelight. But we
Okay.
have to recognize those individuals who have contributed. They have
Mm-hmm.
given of service and still are giving of service.
Mm-hmm.
So, and our first show was with Ryan Brathwaite, our Barbadian Olympian hurdlist.
Mm.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
you know, we people quote unquote remember or forget, however they want to put it, but we want people to realize, you know what? We have a morning show and we want the morning show to reflect those individuals.
Okay.
Um, we try to keep it as normal, comfortable as possible. I'm sure Liesel is quite pleased.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, we don't delve into the what people think the personal aspect. You give
Mm-hmm.
us what you feel comfortable with and we're happy with that. Because then the
Mm-hmm.
person really gets an insight of your thinking cap and
Yeah.
you. It's
Mm-hmm.
not about your personal life, it's about you, your
Mm-hmm.
character, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So we want to say thank you, God bless, and we
Mm-hmm.
want to remind folks to remember wear your mask. They tell you put it like that and like that.
Mm-hmm.
Remember to wash your hands and sanitize. We want you to social distance. In Barbados today, we've been asked to stay indoors.
Mm-hmm.
The businesses will go out and check their business to see how they can reopen. I think the hardware stores were open from 9 to 2 today, and
Mm-hmm.
persons who want to go and get items to clean up and stuff like that can do that.
Yes.
We're asking people who have elderly family members or friends, take a peek out on them. If you can't journey out, call them, make sure you can check on them and make sure they're fine. You
Mm-hmm.
know, do your brother and sisterly thing. And we want to
Beautiful.
let everybody know, keep it real. And we're
Keep
here
it
keeping
real.
it real with Mary and Lionel. Have a beautiful week. Thank you to all and be safe.
Thank
Cheers.
Goodbye.
you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers with the enamel cup. Bye,
Joy.
folks.
Thanks,
Mm.
Mary.
Bye bye.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Pleasure. Pleasure.